Hey, so we're live real fast. I wanted to make this video. Honestly, I have another video that I just finished editing and I saw this news as I was exporting it and I kind of wanted to get my thoughts on it pretty initially. So we're making a quick live, which is going to turn into a video. It's meant to be a little bit more audio only since I don't have a very sophisticated webcam setup or like streaming software. I might have to get one if I plan to do a little bit more of this, but we're going to be taking a look at, oh yes, it's mirrored correctly. Thank goodness. The new DGN and seeing if it's too expensive because there's now actually 3 pricing plans that I think they mostly did a pretty good job with, to be completely honest with you. If anybody is in here, let me know about, like, audio levels if anything needs to change, but I think we probably should be good to go. It says a little bit low audio, but whatever. So, um, it is too expensive. Dominic, see, I honestly think I probably slightly disagree with you on that, especially if you're a PDGA member. Um, I won't be answering too many questions until the very end, but real quick, just going through the Instagram, there's actually a tiered subscription breakdown now. There's going to be 3 different models, and if there's not too much on the screen, it's meant to be a little bit more audio only, but and there's a lot that kind of goes into it. Them buying Jomez, I think, had a part of this because now that's a new benefit. And I think honestly, the way that they do yearly pricing is a little bit interesting. But the tiered subscription breakdown is in the DGN Basic, DGN Standard, and DGN Pro. The Basic means that you get the first round of all the events and select pro majors. You get full coverage of chess.com, USWDGC, Champions Cup, Worlds round 4 and 5, and the MVP Open. Honestly, this is interesting. I thought the basic would have a little bit more than that, especially since they are charging for it in some cases. For every single tier now, you do get all the new features that they're getting because of the new AWS service, which is going to be like getting automatic DVR and playback, so you can actually rewind it in real time if you need to. You can play it back. You can add. And then you can automatically watch the VOD, the video on demand, right after it's finished instead of waiting for it to have to process and then get uploaded, which is really nice. So you get some of the events. It's crazy. It is a good thing that you get the end of Worlds. You get all of the women's first major USWGC. You get all of Champions Cup. You get the first round of the year, which is probably just going to be their invitation for you to pay for either the yearly subscription or the monthly subscription. Which honestly, it might be a little bit hard. And I'm going to be honest. I don't see anybody buying the yearly pro subscription. To be completely honest with you, we'll talk about that in a second. Unless they like want some of the other, but it'll be tough. But you get select bonus feature whole broadcasts if you're on the basic, but everybody gets like the live DVR. Everybody gets the new 60 FPS. They get like all the benefits of just like upgrading the general software. And you get pregame and halftime for Tournament Central, which, gonna be honest, I don't think Tournament Central, at least so far, is a pretty big benefit. I don't know anybody who is even talked even kind of relatively positive about Tournament Central. I know it got better after they changed some of the hosts, and that definitely helped things. But so far, I don't think like they're gonna have to prove that that is a benefit of something that you get. The standard plan, which is the next tier up, and we'll get into pricing here in a second, is full coverage of all DGPT events and pro majors, except for European Open and USDGC, which are 2 of kind of the most anticipated and looked forward to events. European Open, obviously, because of the people in Europe, but also it's just I think it's the most fun event to watch, to be completely honest, maybe besides USDGC, because it feels like disc golf is like a pro sport when you're watching the European Open, because there's of the crowds, of the level of play, especially the excitement that's happened these last couple of years with Coriolis taking it down and what happened to Anthony Barella. And then the year before with Eagle and Paul just putting on a clinic of like how to just crush everybody in the field by 30,000 strokes. So it kind of sucks that you don't get those 2. And so there's just some interesting stuff kind of going on with DGN, and it's going to be interesting to think about if this is going to like push the sport forward or hold it back slightly, especially with such early consolidation as the sport is continuing to grow. You get select bonus whole feature broadcasts similar to the basic plan. You get live, blah, blah, blah. You get all the same tournament and live benefits. And then the pro plan gets you full coverage of all DGPT events and the pro majors. Basically, you're paying the extra money for the pro plan for European Open and USDGC. You get all bonus feature whole broadcasts and alternate commentary streams. That's pretty interesting that you get different commentary streams. I imagine that is going to be a way that they're kind of like teeing up either the next level of content or of commentators, and maybe like kind of promoting and demoting within their own organization. But I'm very interested to see like who actually signs up for the pro and ends up getting that. Live pause and rewind, instant rewatch, same thing. All day coverage plus bonus streams for Tournament Central, which is gonna be interesting. They're gonna have like all day Tournament Central people. It sounds like they're putting a lot of like manpower behind the pro. It's also the only one that if you look at it, like kind of looks a little bit different. DGN Standard, DGN Basic, and Pro. So interesting there. And then there's also a little asterisk. I'm always interested to read these little asterisks. Pro subscribers will also get 9 bonus 1-hour Tournament Central shows during non-US event weeks. 3 of the shows will be during DGPT Europe event weeks. Like, I don't I don't really know what's that. I don't know, like, I don't know if that's a benefit. I mean, I guess you're tacking on more things, which is good. And it is cool that kinda we're building out the streaming software. I think because there's not a lot of, like, media rights that disc golf has with anybody who, like, you can't really lump disc golf in with anything else. I feel like with most other sports, and to be honest, I'm not an avid consumer of other sports, this may be completely incorrect, but, like, I feel like with a golf or something like that, if you wanna watch a decent amount of it, if you just get cable, you get so much and you get that, or you get like YouTube TV, you get golf and you get everything else, and it's like $70 a month or something. And so, like, to just get disc golf on the weekends, and unless you're paying for the top tier to not get every single thing in disc golf, does it's starting to make the case that it's a little too expensive. The tiered subscription breakdown, the quality stream is 1080p for all of them, 60 FPS for all of them, and you can have concurrent streaming with the basic plan only on one device. You can have 2 devices with DGN Standard and 3 devices with DGN Pro. Not quite sure what you need a lot of devices for concurrent streaming. I mean, maybe like if I have it on my phone and then I just like want it to be playing on my computer, or I'm hoping honestly to be moving into a house, like renting a house once my lease is up in a few months, and like having a spot that I can putt and throw into, like inside of a basement, ideally. We'll end up seeing what ends up happening there. But like I can have it up on a TV there, and then if I go up, like I want to putt, I can just have it on full time down there, and then whatever, if I do want that. And then Joma's extra content, which I'm not quite sure what the extra content is. This doesn't seem to explain too much, and I haven't fully read like the landing page article that they have on DGN, so I'm not 100% sure if there's going to be anything crazy different on DGN or like on Jomas itself, or if that's going to change. But there's no extra content with the basic plan. You get select content with the standard plan, and then it's a check mark on the pro plan. What does that even mean? I don't really know, to be honest. Post cruise coverage, you don't get anything for the basic plan. Um, See, like, this is where it's weird because it's like, is post-produce going away? I wouldn't imagine Jomez is taking away post-produce coverage, but that kinda looks like it a little bit. You get all Jomez coverage ad-free, for both the standard and the pro. So maybe it's just that you have to pay for ads for the post-produce coverage. I think sometimes, honestly, these, like, the little Instagram things is gonna be what 85% of people read when the DGN announces these things, and so I think they're beautiful and they're thought out generally well, but there's, like, so many, like I kinda wish that they would, like I don't know, they might, like, send it to people and have them, like, think about it or, like, give them feedback, but I feel like they might need to do that with, like, more just, like, lay people who aren't in the meetings who are creating these graphics, because I look at this and I'm like, "Does this mean that Jomas is if you don't pay for it, is Jomas gone?" And, like, that wouldn't make sense, but that's kinda what they're intimating here, which is odd. Ad-free live coverage, round 1 coverage only, you don't get that for anything except for the pro, which honestly, that might I pay for YouTube Premium, to be honest, because I watch a lot of YouTube. I don't like the ads, and I like just like having it in background play because I like listen to it for podcasts and stuff, or like videos as podcasts, which this video kind of is like that. But the ad free live coverage, I think that is honestly kind of a benefit because the ads are kind of ridiculous, and there's so many of them, and a lot of the ads are really really bad. Um, but yeah, it's just that might I don't know if that would push me over the edge, because you can actually change between the tiers, which is nice, but the ads tend to be not very great. But more benefits for yearly subscribers. So if you buy the yearly plan, in Standard and Pro, you get 20% off the DGPT Pro Shop and Joma's Shop. That's good. I mean, that's kind of a benefit. That's probably just enticing people more to buy, but I don't know if those are like massive marketplaces. 10% off of DGPT tickets with the Standard and Pro plan. And I think this is where the Pro plan might be worth it, depending on if you get depending on how much tickets actually are, which I haven't looked at them to like know, but you get 2 free general admission tickets to a DGPT event, and you get an exclusive monthly newsletter, which I don't really know what the monthly newsletter is going to have that'll be like massively beneficial, to be honest. And now the pricing and discount info, because if you are a PDGA member, there are discounts that are associated with these. And I'll just leave this up here real quick to show you guys if you want to look at it. But the subscription plans, the base price is $5.99 a month, but it's free if you're a PDGA member. I honestly thought this was a little bit better of a deal because I thought that you got like all of the rounds or like a lot of the rounds, but you don't. It's $12.99 for the standard plan and $5.99 per month if you are a PDGA member, which is pretty consistent with what it was last year. And for the pro plan, it's $19.99 per month or $12.99 a month for the PDGA member plan, which the $12.99 a month is about double what PDGA members were typically paying last year. I remember because I was paying like 650 or whatever, with the taxes that I had to pay and whatnot. And so the standard plan seems to be the plan that is just what they used to have, and the pro, they're upgrading a little bit, but they're taking away a lot of what the standard plan got you last year and adding in benefits that I don't know if they materialize enough to like justify the more than doubling in price. Not even doubling because it's $6 to $13, and it was $6 last year if I remember correctly, and now it's $13 for the pro plan. It's also interesting that they're giving so much more incentive to the basic and standard plan for the PDGA members because it goes from 6 to free, and then it goes from 13 to 6, which is 13 to 6. I don't know. 13 is like what? Uh, that's more than 50%. It's like 55% discount. And then for the pro plan, it's 20 to 12, and that is a 40% discount. So you get 100% discount and then 55% and then 40%. And so the more expensive the plan is, the less of a discount you get. It would honestly make a little bit more sense to me to like make that like DGM basic plan free. And then if you're going to do a 40% discount on the pro plan, just slap a 40% discount on the standard plan. And if that means that you're lowering, honestly, I would have just like, if I'm going to do the 40% on the pro, what is it? 5.99 divided by 0.4, or no, that's not it. 0.6. I'm really bad at math. I would just make it $9.99, and then wow, I could have just done that in my head. I'm so stupid. I would just make it $9.99 because at that point you were giving a 40% discount to the standard plan, and then because I don't know how many people are actually like paying for the pro plan who are the PDG members, it just seems like odd to give so much less of a discount. And then the yearly plan is honestly a little bit mind-boggling to me. The way that they're kind of pricing the pro plan, it I don't know, like, I feel like people are good enough at basic math because the yearly plan, the base price is $6 and it's $60 a year, which is like it's like it's 10 months exactly. So you're paying 10 times for the year. So you're getting 2 months for free, and there's no cost if you're a PGA member because there is no you don't get that. It's just not available because you get the monthly for free, so it doesn't matter. For the monthly plan, it's $12.99 a month and then $129.99 for the year. So it's also 10 times. A little bit more than 10 times because you add an extra cent, similar to the monthly to yearly. And the other one's like it's like 10.1 or whatever. It doesn't really matter. No, not that 10.4. Stupid. And the year plan is $69.99, which is now more than 10 months for a PDGA member. So for a PDGA member, it's what is it? $129.99 divided by $12.99 is 10 times almost exactly. And then $69.99 divided by $59.99 is $5.99. Wait, what am I doing with my life? $5.99 is 11.68. So you're paying for 11.6 months if you're a PDGA member. So the PDGA member discount, it was only for the monthly plan in the past. So that kind of makes an inkling of sense why it wouldn't be too much of a discount comparatively. But so like they're incentivizing the month to month, which honestly doesn't make any sense because if I'm already on month to month, I'm not paying for the offseason. I canceled my DGN after USDGC or the Pro Tour Championships. Actually, it was USDGC because I was already paid through the Pro Tour Championships. I'm like, I don't care about any of your offseason content. So like, why am I going to continue to pay for this? And I'm about to buy it again. And one of these plans, I'm going to have to decide which plan, honestly. And it's probably going to be standard until USDGC. And then I'm going to upgrade and I'm going to downgrade because it just, I don't see a lot of people not doing that unless they like really prove the benefits of Tournament Central and something else, which you have to go to this external app compared to everything else that you consume content on to get. And then for the yearly plan is where things get odd. Because it's just a full 12 months. It's $19.99 and then it's $239.99. So it's just a full 12 months for the year, even if you're not a PDGA member. So there's literally no benefit of doing the yearly plan for the pro, except unless you want those external benefits, which are the free DGPT tickets, which might make a little bit of sense. DGPT tickets 2024 is what I'm going to look up and see kind of how much it is. But I don't see a lot of like maybe that'll incentivize more people to go to the DGPT events, but the early bird ticket sale, they take flight. It says I don't really imagine that they're going to be like significantly expensive. I know that people have complained about like a lot of the like cost of events, and so like maybe they're actually are expensive, and maybe that'll make it a little bit like cheaper since they are a little bit expensive. But now I'm just stalling. All-Star Weekend, $15 cheapest, chess.com. And I don't imagine that these are giving you like the most expensive tickets. So like I'm looking at DDO is from $30, Music City from 1830, and maybe you do get to choose like whichever of these events that you get to go to. And so like DDO is the most expensive that I saw at $30. And so even if you do save that those two, you're saving $60. So at that point, it does turn into just under 10 months, maybe about 9 months. Yeah, 9 months exactly. They're paying for if you do get those tickets. But then you got to go Emporia. Honestly, if you're not in Emporia, it's gonna be expensive to go to Emporia. So I just don't really see why you would not give a benefit or a discount on the base price, not even PDGA member price of the yearly plan, because then I'm pretty sure the yearly membership, 12.99. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the yearly membership, yeah, it's 10.7 months now for the pro plan. I think they just like the round numbers, and like the standard plan, you're basically paying full price for a year. And the pro plan, it's cheaper, and then the basic plan is not. And so I don't know. I think it'll be interesting to see kind of what happens with subscribership. Frankly, I think this is gonna really boost subscribership because now they're gonna be able to say, "We have X amount of subscribers," and they're probably not gonna have to tier it out, and that might be what they're looking for to book a little bit more advertisers, which maybe that'll end up working out in the benefit. I don't know the back end business model. This is just one silly little dude on a channel called Banana Frolf's opinion on all of this. Subscribe, by the way. And them getting basically every PDGA member, which is, I don't know, it was like 80,000 last year or something, 100,000 active PDGA members. If you're a PDGA member, you get this for free. And so might as well sign in. You get all of chess.com, you get all of Champions Cup, you get the last 2 rounds of Worlds for absolutely free. Like that's worth it in and of itself if you already are a PDGA member to just like get that membership. And that's probably what they're looking for to boost those numbers to book more ads, which in turn might actually be beneficial. But if they're doing that, then the subscription cost should be lower. And so maybe they'll lower it next year. I don't trust that, but like that would seem to be the case because it does seem to be a little bit expensive because the base price monthly is, and yeah, they probably have more costs and it is probably more costly, especially on like a per customer basis to run this app as compared to a Netflix or Hulu or anything like that. I don't really know because I don't know any of the backends of any of these. But I would imagine that as a smaller business, small to mid-size, it's going to be more expensive to run this, especially video like servicing platform. But $20 a month or $12.99 a month if you're already a PDGA member, and I already paid the $25 extra to call myself a freaking pro, just semi-pro, but come on, I gotta pay that extra. Um, it just seems slightly excessive, especially when the standard plan just it doesn't give you 2 of the most anticipated tournaments of the year, which is a little bit crazy. But I do know that you can shuffle between them. You can like upgrade or downgrade whenever you see fit. And so I imagine some people go on the yearly plan, and I'm even tempted to just go on the yearly pro plan. But then I realize that there's going to be 4 months that I just don't care about. So like, why would I do that if there's going to be 4 months of content that I don't care about? And they haven't proven to me that the off-season content is going to be super good. So I'm gonna ask for a like real fast. That's generally what's happened. I'm gonna read through all these comments, and if it's bad, I'll edit it out, and you won't see this anymore if you're watching this video after it's live. But we'll try to go through them fast. Um, Dominic says it's too expensive. When I'm making Down the Springs at some point, I'm gonna answer only the questions that are related to this, just because this is a video about that. Um, the price, okay. Get a free round on YouTube. I don't see whether or not you get a free round on YouTube. There is a lot more information on the Percher website, TGPT, DGN announcement. I'll just look that up and see because I didn't really see anything regarding. I'll just control F YouTube real fast. Okay. The Disc Golf Network will continue to air the first round of all DGPT events and select pro majors for free on the YouTube channel. Tournament Central's FPO pre-round show and halftime show will also be available for free on YouTube. So that's pretty cool. If I got anything wrong, please like correct me in these comments real fast because other people have definitely read through this before I have. No off-season content though. Exactly. That's why I wouldn't pay for it. I think they're banking on there being a large population of fans who don't have PDGA number but watch a lot of media. And frankly, I don't think that's a big market. I completely agree with you, Dominic. It heavily favors PDGA members, which makes sense. And I think that is to incentivize the signups. First round free, pay to watch. Yeah, our 1-hour shows after a tournament really the way that disc golfers consume content. I feel like they're providing stuff no one asked for. I agree, and I also agree because people like watch podcasts for that. Like, I haven't even thought about really making a podcast just because like there's already so many of them out there that are already so good that like I'm just gonna add to noise if I do that. So it'd have to be about something different. But like I go to the podcast. There's already places where people like consume all this content. So maybe if you bought one of those podcasts and put it behind a paywall, but at that point people would be pissed at you anyway. So uh, Yeah, nothing changes on YouTube, said Solid. They're making us pay to watch Jomez now. I don't think so, Jared. Yeah, Solid said, "No, nothing changes." I wonder what the pricing difference is if you get standard streaming and did Joma's Patreon. See, I wonder what the Joma's Patreon is gonna end up doing. There's a lot of, like, stuff that are different, like, subscriptions and payments from stuff that the Pro Tour has subsumed, and I guess they haven't quite subsidiated it, but it'll be interesting to kinda see what happens with that. Yeah, do you think ad-free means there won't be mid-roll ads, but there will still be sponsored ads? Ooh, that would be interesting. I would imagine that it would mean that, like, in commentary ads would still happen, which I think are fine, like, Terry's a little cringe with it, but he's also kinda really cute with it because it's freaking Terra Bear, but, like, I think, like, mostly the mid-roll ads, especially when there's, like, just ads that run for 5 minutes at a time and you're missing shots and missing commentary, that would be worth it for me, like, for a tournament that I'm, like, I know I'm really gonna watch, I would subscribe to Pro just so I didn't have to listen to the freaking ads, which is, like, dumb that I have to do that, but I'm, like, glad I have an option that I can do that with. Ben said, "I hate what DGN just did. I know coming to this late. Uh, is the quality of the video going to be improved? It was so bad last year. I canceled my membership after 3 events and stuck to post-produced coverage for the rest of the season." Yeah, I think they're saying that they upgraded a lot of it, so it should be a lot better, Andrew. The only question is, like, on different events, I think that they did a lot to address it, and it got significantly better. Good news is, if you're a PDGA member, chess.com is free, so you could see if they did any of that or if they're lying. And that's, I mean, they're riding a lot on that because if you're a PDGA member, you can just get chess.com for free. And if they drop the ball, dude, it's gonna be rough. But they'll already have you in there as a subscriber on month-to-month basis, and you're probably not gonna cancel it because it's free, and so they'll have that number, which I imagine 100% is what is happening. They just are, "Okay, first event of the year, let's gonna make that free so that everybody will watch it. We'll get all these numbers. No one's gonna unsubscribe because it's free. Why would you unsubscribe for something that's free?" And then they have 70,000 people, and so it really boosts the numbers. And so if they're gonna eventually be talking about, like, memberships, like, how many members they have, not the advertisers, because we want the advertisers to pay the money, so tell the advertisers whatever, but, like, to just, like, the disc golf audience, like, we need to differentiate paying members and non-paying members, because the free members are gonna be a large percentage of these people. They're still gonna be able to be advertised to, but if they still have, like, numbers of, like, viewers that are concurrent at any given time, like, right now, I can see there's 89 people here, which is sick. That's a lot of people. I appreciate that a lot. But beyond that, like, on the DGN, if we can still see that number and they're saying there's 80,000 subscribers because everybody from the PDGA signed up for free, plus there were like those 40,000 people who are already there, and like maybe it's like 70, 80,000 people, and we see like the same 4,000 live concurrent viewers, 8,000 live concurrent viewers. I wonder which number advertisers are actually going to be looking at. It'll likely depend on which advertiser and who does their due diligence, but I think that that's probably the play, which frankly is pretty smart. It's just interesting that they're putting so much behind such an expensive paywall. Like, if like, to be honest, if there's something else that is going on during USDGC or during European Open, and it's like I might catch 1 or 2 rounds, I'm not upgrading to pro. Like, I'll probably just stick with my $6 standard and like be like, whatever, I'll catch post Bruce eventually or whatever. Or if I do upgrade for pro for a tournament that I like, then I can go back and rewatch the VODs. Like, that'll all be something that is possible. And if there's anything else that's going on, or it's like, it's a really good weekend to go play, and it's like, I'm not going to be watching it, I'm probably not going to pay the extra money to do it. And so I think that putting those 2 tournaments behind a paywall is going to get some people to do it. But I think it's more going to make people who really love those tournaments and who have watched them for years and years a little frustrated. Yep. Ben said, "I wasn't going to renew this year and then decided last minute to renew. And now there is a pro plan where I'm losing value less than what I bought last year. They will now have to up 1080, 60. And I've talked about massively improving their service. So I imagine that they need a break." Okay. Jared said, "I'm not a PDGA member and I don't see the advantage of signing up for PDGA membership just for a little discount on DGM." Yep. I do. Like, I think it would make sense from like if you're going to be watching 8 months of DGN, just in the general one, it's going to pan out for you to get the PDG membership. Honestly, that at that point, it just depends on who you want to support, because 8 months is basically the whole season. You're because the season's going to end through October. So if you sign up in February, you're paying for 8 to 9 months, and you're getting all of the whole season for 8 months. And at that point, it's like, do I want to support the DGN or do I want to support the PDGA? Because it'll be basically the same cost after taxes. So very expensive for a subpar streaming service that only shows the sport of disc golf. 100% agree, JH. I think that they needed to like the DGM might need to find a. I don't think they want to do this because they like to have a lot of like in-house stuff, but I think that they would benefit from finding other niche sports in if there is already a streaming service umbrella, or they create a streaming service umbrella that like puts all this content together. That's like, okay, maybe there's more than just like one tournament every or two tournaments every 3 weeks, because there's typically 2 weeks on, 1 week off for the whole season. I think that would be helpful. There's also European stuff that's going on, which I think you get 100% of with Pro and not 100% of with the standard. I'm not 100% sure on that, so definitely go check the announcement for that. But I imagine there should have been like a DGPT Europe one as well. Like if you just want the European events, and I think you can pay for extra events. It just seems, it honestly seems like this might be a way to like get all the European subscribers to buy the Pro version so they can watch all the European stuff. Um, so it doesn't really seem like much has changed except in trying to market a more expensive option. I think there's a little bit of extra benefits, but Trevor said this really scares me for new players getting into disc golf. Having everything go away from free post production is not cool. I only started watching because of Jomez. I don't think that's the case. I think Jomez will still be there. I think there will still be post production. I am really interested. Let me see if I can find Jomez on their media release. Okay, subscribers who opt for the yearly plan payment. That's only about the shop. So is there a bigger? Come on, there's got to be a bigger plans and pricing page. Okay. So they added like a whole subpage. Oh, interesting. So what? Okay, so the main thing is ad-free Jomez Pro. So it looks like they might be ad stuffing a little bit of Jomez, which whatever. But like on their like page that shows where you buy all of it, it says ad-free Jomez Pro next day post-produced tournament coverage for all DGPT and PDGA Pro major events except the European Open and USDGC and Throw Pink. USDGC and Throw Pink is lumped in there. Interesting. That's for the standard plan, and then ad-free Jomez the next day post-produced tournament coverage for all PDGA and or DGPT and PDGA majors. My guess is that it's interesting that they haven't said. I've looked on both these plans and I have not seen anything for um like I've literally control effing Jomez, and the only thing that comes up is the discount on the shop on their announcements page, and then on the actual page, the only thing that shows up is that you get ad free next day. So I would guess that Jomez is still on YouTube, but you have to pay ads. So like if you want to watch with completely no ads, get YouTube Premium. It's $18 a month, and you get all YouTube with no ads. Which I don't know. I pay for that, but that seems like a better benefit because like I watch YouTube every day. I don't watch like DGPT every day. Whew, that is interesting. But yeah, I think you still get everything Jomez. It didn't say that it changed Jomez at all. It's just as weird. It just is really weird the way that they put it on here. Like putting oh geez, that just okay, there it is. Where is the Jomez thing that's on here? It says Jomez extra content. Yeah, Jomez extra content was like select content, yes or no. And then this is where it was weird is like the post-produced coverage. When you have like the basic plan, it just has the X there. It's like, dude, you gotta say ad-free post-produced coverage if that's gonna be the case. Because other like they haven't clarified that it's still even gonna be on YouTube right now at this point, which I would assume yes, because they haven't said no. But assuming it's Pro Tour is an interesting thing to do, to be honest. I don't pay to watch ball golf, so why would I pay to watch disc golf? I do think you pay to watch ball golf. You just do it in conjunction with everything else, Bill, which I think is a sensible way to do it. Like, but I don't think the DGN. Maybe that's the play. Maybe it's getting all these free people in this year. I don't understand why they would biz off some people with this, with the highest end, if they're just trying to like boost their numbers so that they can get subsumed. Um, it's really an interesting play. Ryan said 2 or 3 devices just isn't enough. I watch it on my phone or iPad sometimes when I'm on the move, and one of 3 TVs in the house. Can you change the devices over and over? Yeah, it says concurrent devices, I believe, so you can change it as long as you're logged in. Will some majors be pay-per-view too, or will it have the full upgrade? I think it said that some will be pay-per-view, but I forgot exactly where I said that. Um, expense is not the issue for me. Had a sub last year. Did not like the commentary, poor quality feeds, and can't see disc resolution so low. Occasionally so bad, can't tell who's showing this. I agree with you. I don't think I don't think for everybody the expense itself, like budgeting $20 a month for this, I don't think is or 13 is gonna be like the cost. It's gonna be like the cost benefit analysis of like, am I actually getting $13 worth of value from this as compared to because they're not like the DGN in a sense isn't competing with anybody because they've monopolized the media of the top level of this sport. Like even if I go and play a pro tour event, which I'm hoping to be able to do this year, I have to apply for some media credentials. I have to do some like they own licensing of some like there's interesting licensing agreements that you have to do if you're on the DGN property or like a property that is leased by DGN to like for the tournament purposes. And so in a sense they monopolize all of that. And so I don't know if they're thinking like this, that like they're not competing with anybody, but they are competing with literally every other media option that's out there. So like in a sense, I agree. Like the expense itself inherently is going to be a barrier for some people. It's not going to be a barrier for other people, but the benefit is going to be an interesting kind of calculus. Is this most likely a response to them losing money on the season last year, Adam? It very well might be. I think it is interesting. Disc golf is an interesting. It's going to be. I I don't even have concrete thoughts. So I'm not even going to continue to talk about it. What my half-baked BS ideas are. I don't think it's worth to pay for live coverage because there's nothing like watching live. I just hate watching sports when I know the results. I agree. I really, really, really love watching live. And so I will definitely be paying for this in some, but yeah. Mick Nilsson said when you want to log into your third device. Oh, he was talking about that. Yeah. Can you recap the main points and benefits? I would just go rewatch the first 10 minutes of this. It has everything in there. Watch it on double speed if you dare. It's hard to market a slow moving sports. Baseball is going through that growing pain. Golf only gets viewership because it's free and mainstream with loads of advertising. Oh, I didn't even. Is it free or do you pay for? Is it free because it's part of a cable package, or is it like do you actually get it for free? Because if you get it for free, I wonder where I wonder where disc golf is going to go, and I wonder what it's going to look like in 5 years if the pro tour is still around, which I hope so, or at least some sort of professional tour. The way the media is going to have to go is going to be interesting. Yeah, Dominic said post production caters to modern content trades. A casual fan would much rather watch a whole round in 90 minutes versus 4 hours of coverage for the same golf. I definitely agree. I prefer just like I'm on this key so hard when I'm watching like VODs because would just rather watch the live. If I'm like going to sleep, I watch Jomez. You shouldn't watch stuff when you're going to sleep, but I do because I have terrible sleep habits. But otherwise, I am clicking that thing so fast. How does a mystery box of purely just have retrieved out of the water sound? That would be fun. Reach out to me at some point. That has nothing to do with this, but I responded. Also, for paid coverage, FPO for me sucked. You have Kristen and Owen, Owen, and for me that's about it. Here in Europe, MPO is often too late to catch live, so I watch more FPO live than MPO. But I also think FPO is just as fun to watch. It's sometimes more fun. We're all different. I do agree. I really like watching FPO a lot. I do hope that the European side of this either gets a different like nod towards something because I heard. I'll just control F Europe real fast. With complete coverage of the US DGPT circuit, select DGPT Europe events, and all PGA Pro majors. That's what subscribers can look forward to. Come on, where's the actual thing about Europe? Silver events in Europe this year will not have live coverage, but all DGPT events, the Elite Series, will have live coverage, including the 5 events. Okay, so that does seem to be included in the normal, like the standard plan, which is solid. I already purchased my DGM for this year. Do I have to make changes? DGM Pro or Basic or Standard? Oh man, I got research to do now. That is interesting. Like, what do you do? I would imagine you get grandfathered in, and if you get grandfathered in, they better grandfather you into that best plan. I would think that they slot you into Standard because that seems to be what it like would be. But like you paid the plan that you thought would get you a CGC and European Open, so I would. If they don't put you into that like the pro plan, woo, I think that is not ideal. Um, Due to Vimeo, yeah, Super Flash. I do think that it was due to Vimeo. Shout out Dave. The good thing I'm happy with is that it's once again free for PDGA members. So in that fact, I'm paying less per month than I was, all for more, even at the upgraded versions. Yeah, I agree. I just don't think that you get a lot for the PDGA membership, but you do get more than nothing. So like if you're already a PDGA member, like that's definitely sick. And I would definitely watch chess.com for free. Like literally, why not? I think much of the bandwidth streaming issues was local cell coverage, which they improved later in the year. What do you think is the biggest shortcoming of this model? I just think it's like I think Garrett, the biggest shortcoming is just like cost benefit. Um, I honestly was coming into this thinking that it like wasn't necessarily too expensive because there were so many options, but like, and in a sense, it still is basically the exact same except you have to pay a little bit more for European Open and for USDGC, which does suck. And I'm interested to see how viewership actually goes for those tournaments. I think that if it is marketed correctly throughout the year, it can do very well. Not marketing the actual thing, but marketing the actual tournaments and making people actually want to buy and see the benefit of upgrading. Because I think that there can be some. I do think that they've upgraded a lot in the free version, and I almost wonder if their upgrading of like what they have done feels like it gives them license to like charge slightly more for some things. But in a sense, I also think that the upgrades that they have done is just bringing it closer to up to par with like what a streaming service that you pay for should actually be. I don't think it's like exceeding any expectations, and I definitely don't think that a lot of their like extra extraneous content that they're seeming to put into the benefits of some of these plans is exceeding expectations. And so personally, I think I'll be getting the standard plan because I do want to watch All Stars, and so I'll probably be buying just the standard plan and then upgrading to the Pro for the tournaments that I want to watch that you need the Pro version of the USDGC, Throw Pink, and European Open. And then I'll probably cancel at the end of the season unless they like prove to me that off-season content is like better than like what I can just watch on YouTube or like maybe even make myself on the main channel. So, do you think stat tracking will be worse without UDisc, Justin? I don't know. I hope not. I really hope not. But initially, probably. but I hope it gets better because UDisc it was not a primary thing for UDisc. For UDisc, their primary thing is all of us having this on our phone and going and playing disc golf and paying the yearly subscription, which I think I'm about to renew for like 30 bucks, which like for me, it's totally worth it. I play so much that like it is worth it for me to pay $30. It is a doubling in price, which is a lot. But for me, it's worth it. I do think that initially it's not going to be, but I think with them bringing in Statmando in house um, and giving them full time jobs, I think that that'll be helpful for the stat side of the sport. And I imagine by the end of the year, we'll have a better stat product than we did in UDisc. I hope that they're able to migrate stats and we have an overall picture. I hope that they change some of the statistics a little bit. But I think that the product will actually end up being better because to UDisc, it wasn't the main crux of something. And now there's a division in the PDGA, Statmando, that is dedicated to this. And I'm hoping that it's prettier than Statmando's website, and they like have some like UI people, graphic people come in and actually make it good looking. But I think that the stat side of it will actually be better over the long run. Is just going to be some growing pains, which is annoying, but I think it's all right. Um, yeah, Mick said just like coming off the Q series schedule so late, these new tiers should have been available much sooner. I definitely agree. I think it's so interesting with our sport right now because there's so much growing pains that are happening in this very moment. Like we are and the Pro Tour is still so young. I think it's like 5, 10 years old. I don't really know. I'm so new to the sport that I have no idea when it started, honestly, but I've heard it's between 5 and 10 years old, somewhere there. And so that's still very young for a business that has grown as rapidly as this business has and has a large, very vocal consumer base. Disc golf fans have a lot of opinions. And I think it's like this is gonna maybe suck for a year, but I don't imagine it like, this seems like the building blocks, the foundations of a lot that can be built upon, expanded upon, that things can be, like, taken down or changed, and I think that there's a lot of options for it to continue or a lot of ways that it'll continue to grow positively. But this year is kinda like this might be a year where, like, DGN is like, "Hey, we're gonna do all this stuff, and we're gonna tell all these people, and we're gonna do all this, and they're gonna yell at us, and we're just gonna take it on the chin and cower like, not cower, but, like, go back into our corner, put our head down, and just, like, grind it out." They're gonna keep punching us, and it doesn't matter. We're just gonna keep working on it. And then we wake up 12 months from now, and we're like, "Holy crap, this is incredible." I don't know for this pricing. I could see a way that like I could justify myself. I couldn't see a way I could justify paying 20 bucks a month for just a disc golf service, unless it like does absolutely everything for me, including like a U disc or something. It's like my one stop shop for everything disc golf. Boom, I pay 20 bucks a month. 13, I can justify that as a streaming option, which is where I think that they're really banking on the PDGA memberships, but. I could see a world where if the Pro Tour continues really chipping away at this, even while they're taking all this feedback and like probably my complaints and like everybody talking about this on the chin, and they're like, whatever, like it is what it is. I know where I'm going. Like I understand this from like a perspective of like someone who's trying to get on the Pro Tour of like I put those goals out very publicly, and like that just it's very easy to get like smacked around verbally, and like I don't seek it out, and like ultimately isn't that important to me, frankly, because like I know where I'm going, and I'm like getting to that goal. That might be where the Pro Tour is, where it's like, yeah, we're gonna get there, and we know what we're doing, and we have this vision, and maybe we're wrong, and maybe we're right. Exactly, like same with me. Like I could be completely wrong. Maybe I'm gonna suck forever. Like I don't know, but like I think I know the plan to get there and the path to get there, and so I'm gonna keep just chipping away at that path and like grinding it out, and then I'm gonna have a good product in 12 months. That could be the Pro Tour's like thought process on this. And it's like, well, this sucks that we had to get this out late, but we had to get it out now. Because if we wait another year, if we wait 6 months and we never get it out, like then it's even worse. And it sucks for timing wise, but it's out there. And now we have to prove that it's worth it. And just continue working on the product. So I think that that could be a very viable way that this is happening. It just is very interesting that is all coming out so late. But uh, yeah, thanks, Dominic. Live coverage is bad. Too much downtime between throws and poor streaming quality. I can't believe they're charging more than ever before. Luckily, except for 2 tournaments, they're ultimately not. They're charging the same as before, and it should be better based on what they said. Which the better. If the bar is here, last year I feel like the commentary, some of the streaming issues, it was good. Like, I enjoyed having it. It was kinda here. And now with all the stuff that they said that they have done, maybe it's closer to the bar, like, getting there for that $6 a month as a PDG member, $13 a month for the standard plan. If you want the pro plan, if you're gonna be going to DDO or you're going to one of these events, it's probably gonna be worth it to get the year if you plan to watch DGN for 18 months or for 12 months. Otherwise, it's definitely not gonna be worth it. But, uh, yeah. So that's, my general thoughts on this. I was hoping they announced a big gambling sponsor and had lower costs. I getting massive sponsors and lowering costs would be great. I almost wonder at this point if they would, but I don't know the behind the scenes. That's just probably some pessimistic speculation. Um, Yeah, Justin, love the Pharaoh. Pharaohs are great. How much is it yearly? It depends on the plan. If your PDGA member is either free, $70 or $140. Otherwise it's 240, like 100 and something. I don't really know, but it's a lot of money. You can check it out. Um, no shot I'm paying to see only 50% of the content live without being awake till 3 a.m. It's 8:26 p.m. now. I do love watching more relatable FPO players though, Remy. Yeah. Shout out everyone in Europe. Everyone adjusting their pricing this year or for the inflation. Yeah, inflation though is like not 100%. um, $80 for 4 months of no off-season content is a tough pill to swallow. Exactly. That's why I'll absolutely be canceling it and likely not even going pro. I like this live thing. Is it regular? It is not. If honestly, this happened because I just exported a video from Nanofrost, and I think YouTube treats lives and videos separately. And I wanted to make a video about this, and so this video will be saved as a VOD, and people will be able to watch it. And I'm also going to be posting something about Jester Discs. Shout out, which is a little bit of a fun little round that'll be going live on this channel as well today, and then maybe something on the main channel. I don't. That's too much. I was planning on just doing the two, and then this all came out, and so I made this. But it'll happen more if there's more things that I want to talk about it. I might do this a little bit more. It was fun for me as well. Thank you guys for checking it out. And go get your Distant Infinite if you want, and if you don't want, then don't do that. Bye.